Yeah, he told you. Mad Mike told you. What's happening, people? Getting it in. We're doing it and doing it and doing it well. We're doing it and doing it and doing it well. Um, Go ahead and throw and them questions, man, so I can kind of get you guys thoughts on a lot of things. First off, I think this is more important than anything for me personally because one of the guys, me growing up, and I'm positive you guys who grew up in the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Me, not 70s, I'm an 80s baby. But, you know, um, this guy right here is without a doubt um, one of the most influential, not only martial artists, but actors um, from that period of time. Uh, I mean, he has passed away at the wonderful age of 86. Um, he's a fellow Pisces. Got to throw that in there. A fellow Pisces. Um, Mr. Carlos Ray Norris, aka better known as Chuck Norris, a black belt in karate, taekwondo, Tiger Song Do, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Judo. Um, Also, he's a member of the Air Force himself, but probably most notably, a friend of one of the greatest of all time, and Mr. Bruce Lee. Those guys had a couple of movies. He was one played the villain in The Way of the Dragon. Played in movies like Breaker, Good Guys Wear Black, Delta Force. He was one of those guys also. Um, but probably one of his most impressive. I won't say impressive, but probably one of those the best we remember is Walker, Texas Ranger. Um, just like I said, man, one of the guys that helped Mr. Bruce Lee kind of perfect his art to kind of create um what we know today. These guys, the Chuck Norrises, like I think this is important to say because of the things that we're seeing today. The guys like the sports like the MMA. Um, I think it's important for these guys to get their credit. Because, like I said, it wouldn't be a lot of things if it wasn't for guys like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. And like I said, this man is like, if you just look at his record just as a martial artist, you would be um, very, very impressed. And like I said, going back to Bruce Lee, who's regarded as the godfather of MMA, mixed martial arts, like these guys were that. So, want to send a shout out to Mr. Chuck Norris. Like I said, passed away at the age of 86. And like I said, man, um, K Styles already know. And uh, like I said, I'm a huge fan of it myself. And like I said, I'm a martial artist, but I think Kev is a really a huge martial artist. Our fans of martial arts. And like I said, just a legend in its own right, man. Um, we're gonna get to those questions right now. Oh, want to throw something else in there real quick. You got Mr. Uh, Dennis Rodman, who has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think we all remember the WCW days where he teamed with the NWO, okay, with the late great Hulk Hogan, um, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, those guys in the NWO, man. Like I said, man, the NWO has so many legends, but I think like Dennis Rodman, in my opinion, helped really open the door for a lot of these athletes, you know, to get in the ring, do their own thing, to do their thing. You had Karl Malone, Dennis Rodman, those guys were huge fans of wrestling. And like I said, now he's going in the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame, Mr. Dennis Rodman. And I think that's incredibly, I think that's great. And it's all right. Um, oh, we're gonna get to the bullshit. Okay. Believe that. But y'all go ahead and throw those questions in there. Because we got quite a bit to talk about. I find it funny. I really do. I find it funny that a lot of these things happen. I find it funny that a lot of these things even are said and mentioned. It's funny, it's hilarious, and I find it downright stupid for these things to even happen. But they continue to happen. Hilarious. Funny as hell. Why do we continue to see stuff like this? And these are questions that I like. Y'all know I like to break it down. Right? I like to break it down to figure out what the hell's like what's the point? What's the freaking point of stuff like this? Because it baffles me that we see stuff like this over and over again. I don't get it. So this comment was made. Okay. This comment was made, and I really try to. No, I don't. I I'm not gonna bullshit and lie. I don't try to understand stupid. Okay. One kind of pretty much advised me against trying to understand stupid, so I'm not going to understand stupid anymore. Okay, so I want to read off some numbers because I like again I don't get it. I really don't get it because huh? Like seriously, huh? So after we put out a comment out there about Kyle Pitts, okay, and it's saying okay. It said, I'm saying his 5 years of work is mediocre, hence why no one tried to trade for him. And if they do trade him on the tag, which is highly unlikely, it will be for something like a 5th-round pick. They would have been better letting him walk and getting a compensation pick for him. I don't have no problem telling you that you're a stupid motherfucker. I really don't. I really don't. But let me get into it. Like I said, John, what's going on? Lakita, what's going on? Yasuke, what's good? I don't know how the hell you say that shit, so I'm just gonna put it on the screen. I'm so not sorry for that. Dre Murphy, what's good? Meat, what's good? Like, I don't try to understand stupid anymore. I just call it stupid and keep on fucking trucking. He's on down the road. That's what I do now. I don't try to understand stupid, but I'm going to break down why this is the stupidest shit I have ever seen. Like this, we say this at least 17 times a week. At least 17 times a week. Shit like this. It's because it's all emotionally based, nothing factual. It's all emotionally based. And here, dick sucker number 2. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Kyle Pitts is not a unicorn. Stop saying that nonsense. See, this is where when we start talking about get out of your feelings, get out of your emotions, and actually use facts, actually use stats. Okay, where if I were to say that Kyle Pitts is regarded as one of the greatest Atlanta Falcons tight ends, Mr. Center, hey, Mr. You Can't See Me. Uh, why? If Kyle Pitts, if I were to tell you, how would you tell me that I'm a liar? I want to know that. I really want to know that, y'all. So we gonna get. Well, like I try, I'm gonna try my best not to call you a stupid dick. I mean, penis. I mean, I'm gonna try to be. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more PG. Okay, I'm gonna try. I really am gonna try. But tell me if I were to tell you that Kyle Pitts was regarded and looking at his numbers as one of the greatest tight ends to ever. No, I don't give a damn who you said. You said he's not a unicorn. So what is a unicorn? In football sense, okay? We ain't talking about fairies and dressing up with pink and yellow tutus on, okay? We're not talking about that unicorn bull crap, okay? Because even if you're looking in the land of Harry Potter, when you talk about unicorns, unicorn possess rare abilities and rare functions. Okay, let me say it again. Unicorns, even in the magical world of Harry Potter, unicorns possess rare abilities and rare functions. Huh? So either you guys have no idea what unicorn means, or you just hate Kyle Pitts. So we're gonna look at Kyle Pitts' strengths. What are Kyle Pitts' strengths? I want all the naysayers, I want all the detractors, all that shit. Okay, because I'm about to prove that you are stupid motherfuckers. Okay, I'm about to prove that you are a stupid motherfucker. And I don't want to hear shit about this Matt Ryan built him all this bullshit, because I'm about to give y'all some stats. Okay? I'm about to give y'all some stats about Mr. Pitts. Because you guys were the one that said he ain't this and he's not that. Okay? Go back to 2021. All the Kyle Pitts detractors said he only put up those numbers because of Matt Ryan. Am I lying, y'all? Yeah, so yes, Mike, you're lying. In 2021, when Mr. Kyle Pitts was a Pro Bowler, everybody, I can say a good 65% of the people said it was largely due to the fact that Matt Ryan was the quarterback. Am I wrong or am I right? Because I find this funny. Secondly, was that a lot of people said, he only had he doesn't get a lot of touchdowns. Well, if he was a Pro Bowler with Matt Ryan, okay, if he was a Pro Bowler and damn near broke an NFL record at tight ends for yards, and I'm talking about tight end record, that means history. That means better than the great Mike Ditka. He almost broke that. And even that, we look at that was largely due to the fact that he had a hamstring. He got, he had some issues doing that. So my thing is, why is it that in regards to Kyle Pitts, and we look at Matt Ryan in his rookie year, we want to look at the yards, we want to look at the reception, saying it was largely due to the fact that Matt Ryan was the quarterback. But guess what? Matt Ryan only threw one touchdown to him in his best season, in his Pro Bowl season. Let me say it again. Matt Ryan only threw one touchdown to Kyle Pitts in his regarded as best season. One touchdown. Okay? Does anybody know that is the lowest output of touchdowns in his NFL career with Matthew Thomas Ryan? Let me say this again now. That's his lowest output of touchdowns in his NFL career was Matthew Thomas Ryan. See, this is why you get called stupid motherfuckers, because we're going to prove that you're a stupid motherfucker and you don't look at the stats. You don't look at anything else. You just put that number 4 overall pick all over him and say, yeah, this is why he sucks. But he's only good because of Matt Ryan. Well, guess what? Again, he only had one touchdown with the great Matt Ryan. Okay? We're going to get to that, stupo. Okay? Y'all don't run. Don't run when it get hot. Okay? Don't run when it get hot. You stay your little bitch ass in here and answer the question. Okay? Stay your little bitch ass in here. Don't say I gotta go to work or I gotta do my schoolwork because my mama won't let me watch TV no more, Mike. Okay, stay your little bitch ass in here and go for the ride. Okay, Mister 1 2 4 5 6 6 6. Okay, stay your little bitch ass in here and listen. Okay, you gonna get school, little sir. He only had one touchdown with the legendary, the Hall of Fame Matt Ryan. He only had one touchdown with that guy. But that is regarded as his best season in his career. Is his rookie year. Because he was with the great Matt Ryan. Okay? Furthermore, his best NFL career, okay? Okay, let me say it again now. His best NFL career numbers 88, 928, 5 touchdowns. This guy had 5 touchdowns with 2 quarterbacks. 88 receptions. That's the most in his NFL career. Now, do we want to start? See, the thing is, when it comes down to Kyle Pitts, everybody like to put up but in front of him. Okay, everybody love to put the but in front of him. But let me put the but in front of Quinteros Lopez Jones. Okay. Do you guys really believe if it really wasn't for if it was Julio Jones in Cleveland, if Cleveland would have never traded us that number 1 overall pick, we're still looking at Julio Jones, the legendary, if he would have went to Cleveland instead of the Atlanta Falcons. If he would have went to Cleveland and had a revolving door of quarterbacks, are we still looking at the same Julio Jones that we saw here in Atlanta? Okay? See, this is the problem that I have when it comes down to guys like Kyle Pitts, especially Falcons fans. They love to put the but in front of Kyle Pitts, but we don't want to put the but in front of guys like Julio Jones. They don't want to put the but in front of guys like Roddy White. You know, Roddy White, to give him a little bit of credit, he was on the trending. He was a trending. He was a bit. He had 1,000 yards. He was on the upward trend in regard to when, Matt Ryan became the quarterback. He put up some good numbers. But would he have been the great Roddy White without Matt Ryan? That's a huge question mark. See, this is the problem that we have when we're talking about Kyle Pitts. When he does good, y'all want to say, but he's not doing this. Guess what? Julio Jones got a lot of buts, especially with touchdowns, especially when they get into the red zone. Why didn't Tony Gonzalez struggle in the red zone? Okay, why didn't Tony Gonzalez struggle in the red zone? But Quinteros did. Quintero struggled, you guys. Quintero struggled in the red zone. But why didn't Tony Gonzalez and Matt Ryan struggle in the end zone? I really want these answered. See, this is when your brain this is what the brain on fried eggs. You ever seen fried eggs? And I'm talking about fried eggs. This is what it looks like. What do you mean? Now we're talking about Julio in Cleveland. See, now you can't now he's trying to play stupid. He's not trying to understand it because he understands exactly where we're going. Again, if Julio Jones would have stayed in Cleveland, do you believe that we're still looking at the exact same Julio Jones that we saw in Atlanta? It's a simple question. I don't think it's anything. You look at anything about this, it is not that difficult to understand. The problem is when y'all faced with a question that you have to answer and you got to be truthful about it, you don't want to answer the question. And again, I asked in this Okay, then. So stop. No. Here he go. He trying to look at this. Is the stupidest shit that we ever seen in my life. See, this is why you get called stupid motherfuckers. See, this is he putting on a El Stupido, and I'm talking about a El Stupido prime time show. He said from a stats perspective, he wouldn't have put up those numbers. But let me get this right. What good is talent if you don't have the stats to go with the talent? What good are the stats if you don't have the touchdowns to go with the skills? What are you? You know who you are? You're Michael Jenkins. You're Kelvin Benjamin. You're Calvin Ridley. You got all this skill, you got all this talent, but you, for whatever reason, when you're on the field, you can't put up the numbers. Okay? Y'all see it for yourself. He said from a stats point perspective, no, he wouldn't have been the same in Cleveland. And then had a mitigated gall to say this dumb shit. From a talent perspective, yes, he would have been Julio. Jerry Rice ain't Jerry Rice without the numbers. T.O. ain't T.O. without the numbers. Jerry Rice ain't Jerry Rice without the Super Bowl championships. Tom Brady ain't Tom Brady without the championships. So when we talk about Kyle Pitts, this is where I have a major problem because this dude done had about 5-6 damn quarterbacks in his 5 years, but we don't want to talk about it. We just want to talk about him being the number 4 overall with a revolving door at quarterback, with a revolving door at head coach. Y'all want to point the finger at him and say, yeah, he doesn't have the talent. And he's only mediocre. Well, guess what? Quinteros was mediocre and cutting touchdown. He only got 66 career touchdowns. Yeah, he only got a career number of 66 touchdowns. $66. He only got 3 more touchdowns than Roddy White in his career. So the problem is, again, when we talk about Kyle Pitts, we like to disregard the coaching. We like to disregard the talent that's around them. Because we can't say that Kyle Pitts and the Atlanta Falcons lacked talent around him because they had the talent. He didn't have the talent when he was with Matt Ryan. Those guys were playing football with a bunch of scrubs, a bunch of guys that had no deserve. These guys that he was playing with didn't deserve to even be on the field with Kyle Pitts and Matt Ryan. Yet these guys, he still put up 60 and was a Pro Bowler. Now, what's the negative of that? Kyle Pitts just had a bunch of scrubs around him. See, this is the funny shit when it comes down to Kyle Pitts that I fucking hate with a passion. And I spit in the fool. I spit in the face that people that don't want to be cool. Okay? I spit in the face to those that don't want to be cool. And I spit in the face that those that don't want to be true. Because on one hand, again, we go back to Kyle Pitts. When he had a great quarterback, guess what y'all said? It was only because of Matt Ryan. Now we don't have the fucking trash when he got a bunch of guys that a guy like Kirk Cousins, old. He's only good because of like he putting up these numbers with a bunch of revolving door at quarterback. Kyle Pitts with Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins. He putting up these numbers with a revolving door at quarterback. He putting up better numbers with those guys than he's putting up numbers with Matt Ryan. And guess what? The general consensus is yeah, Kyle Pitts didn't live up to his expectations. To that number 5, number 4 overall pick. He didn't live up. He was only mediocre. So let me ask y'all this, too. Let's take Kyle Pitts out of the equation for a second. So there's a guy with the Los Angeles Rams. Y'all might know him. Y'all might know this guy. Y'all might know this wide receiver. He's been in the news for allegedly dating certain sports ladies. And his name Puka Nacua. So answer me this. Riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this, okay? Oh, Pook. So you have a guy like Sean McVay. I believe he's a brilliant mind as a coach. And he's playing with a guy like Matthew Stafford. So would you guys answer this question? Okay, Mr. CNN, please tell me this, okay? Do you believe that Puka Nacua would be as good of a receiver if he wasn't with Sean McVay, if he wasn't with Matthew Stafford? Answer me that. I really want to know that. I want everybody's truest thoughts. Do you believe that Puka Nacua, a 5th-round pick, okay, would be the same quarterback, would be the same coach, or would be the same player if he had the same coach and the same quarterback? Do you believe if he had different, or let's switch Puka with the Atlanta Falcons quarterback position, head coach. If he was in Atlanta, do you guys believe? No, bitch. No, I don't want to hear that fuck ass bullshit you talking right now. Answer the motherfucking question. Do you believe that Puka Nacua would be the same player if he did not have Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford as his guys? Okay? Because we're talking about truth. You see this? So he says the raw ability of Puka is effort on the field would translate anywhere. What do y'all think about this? On a scale of 0 to 10 on the bullshit meter, what do you guys say about this? About this comment? Do you think he's being honest about this? Yeah, we like I said, I want to see what everybody. Do you believe that he's being honest or he's just trying to be right? Because it's funny that when it comes down to other players, it's the other players are great. You see how it works? Puka Nacua is great. Okay? Puka Nacua is great. Okay? Puka Nacua is great, but when it comes down to the Sean McVay and the Matthew Stafford, they don't matter when it comes down to Puka Nacua. They don't even matter. You see how this works, y'all? When it comes down to players that people like as they see as superstars, having the right coach, having the right quarterback does not matter because these guys are going to be great no matter what. See, the funny thing about what he just said, he don't know he just fucked up. He don't realize he just fucked up. See, this is why you got to stop thinking with your feelings because he just fucked up. Because when I asked about Julio Jones, he said if he would have been in Cleveland, from a stats perspective, Julio Jones wouldn't have been the same. And then he said from a talent perspective, he said yes. See, he don't know he just fucked up. He's just trying to be right at this point. Because he essentially said that Puka Nacua, despite having a good coach, despite having a good quarterback, that Puka Nacua would have been great no matter what anywhere. But on one hand, he said if Julio Jones would have been in Cleveland, he wouldn't have put up the same numbers, or because he playing with a sucky team. You see how this works, y'all? Huh? It's beautiful when they run right into. See, this is why people don't like answering questions with us, because they realize they're stupid in the middle of it, and then they start saying, "Hey, man, this is look." So you see now that he's got caught into stupid land. Okay, now he done got caught in stupid land. Now he want to sit up here and say, see how now we got to run out the red carpet for Kyle Pitts and live up to the number one for. That's what it come down to you. See, the problem is with these Falcons fans and these haters of Kyle Pitts, because that's what you are. You created and this, I got to give this to K Styles. I got to give it to K Styles. But so you created, and this is what happens. You create a virtually, what happens with players that you dislike, you create unrealistic expectations for them. So when they don't live up to your expectations, they trash or they mediocre. You all created that unicorn. Kyle Pitts, he wasn't called a unicorn at Florida. Kyle Pitts ain't the only he's not the only tight end that we've seen run a 4.4. A guy named Vernon Davis, I believe Vernon Davis ran like a 4.3. But you guys put that label on him as being a unicorn. You guys did. Y'all put this label of him being the number 4 overall pick and say just because he's an overall pick, he has to have 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and 10 touchdowns every single season. If he doesn't do that, he's just mid. Y'all create these unrealistic expectations for him, and then when he don't live up to them, y'all have a problem with it. And then when you got guys like Lamar Jackson who y'all beat y'all meat to, because that's what happens. Y'all beat y'all meat to a guy like Lamar Jackson. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Lamar Jackson is the biggest waste of talent in the history of the NFL and the history of anybody winning an MVP. He's the biggest waste of talent ever. He's the biggest waste of talent in the history of the NFL. Why? He's had one of the greatest runs ever. Okay? They have never lacked anything. When you talk about in his complete, and I'm talking about in his complete career, this guy's always had a top 15 and a top 10 defense. Always. And guess what he's done? Nothing. He's done nothing with it. You're getting embarrassed by a guy named Sam Darnold, who ain't even putting up the numbers that Lamar Jackson did. But guess what? He led his team to a Super Bowl. He got his team to a Super Bowl. He's the biggest waste of talent, not only his own talent, but the team's talent. He's the biggest waste of talent in the history of the game. He's a disgusting pack of crap. He's the only quarterback that have had 40 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions in a season, and guess what he's done? Nothing. A complete waste of talent. But guess what y'all do? You point the fingers at everybody else. You fired John Harbaugh because this loser wasted the entire team's talent. You wasted the tight ends. You wasted the tight ends. You wasted the tight ends. You wasted the wide receiver. You wasted one of the greatest runs at running back in Derrick Henry ever. You wasted the defense. You wasted it all. Oh, I know, K-Styles. I know. See, this is what happened to these throat babies. These throat babies, they create an unrealistic, and I guarantee, look, they create an unrealistic expectation for guys that they don't like. They create unrealistic expectations for guys they don't like. And then the guys that they do like, they set the bar so low. And when you point it out, guess what they say? It's everybody else's fault. If you would have built the better offensive line, Lamar Jackson would be better. If we had a better running back, we would have been better. If we would have had a better offensive coordinator, which you fired like 3-4 of them for Lamar, we would have been better. If the defense was better, we would have been better. Y'all create the unrealistic expectations for guys y'all dislike, and the guys that y'all like, y'all set the ball so low and point the finger at everybody else. The general consensus with Lamar Jackson now, they're not even pointing the finger at one person. They pointing the finger at everybody. They pointing the finger at the defense. They pointing the finger at Mark Andrews. They pointing the finger at John Harbaugh. They pointing the finger at Derrick Henry for fumbling the ball so much. They pointed the finger at Todd Monken, who had these guys ranked number one for like the last 3 years. These guys have been no lower than third. Okay, no lower than third in total offense. Huh? See, now Mr. Cena, Mr. Cena, because it sounds like a damn dumb jackass, okay? See, now he want to get personal with y'all and start calling y'all names and stuff like that, okay? And this is the problem. Again, let's go back to what I was saying about Kyle Pitts. Y'all set the bar so high for Kyle Pitts. So when he gets the good numbers, y'all say, yeah, but. And then when he doesn't get the number, y'all say, yeah, see, I told y'all he was a bum. It's funny. It's hilarious. The MVP is a popularity contest. See, this is the same guy that said, this is the same guy, y'all. See, this is why you just let them keep talking. You let these motherfuckers keep talking, they're going to run into the tree. Okay? They're going to tell on everybody in the, look, they're going to tell on everybody in the neighborhood. You let them talk. They're going to tell on everybody. They're going to tell their deepest, darkest secrets if you just let them talk. Because this guy was the one, when I asked if Julio would have went to Cleveland instead of the Atlanta Falcons and played with their quarterbacks, he said no, he wouldn't have put up the stats. Then turned around and said yes, because he in terms of skill, he will be the same Julio Jones in terms of skill. So what? Skill doesn't matter. Why? Skill doesn't matter if you're not putting up the numbers. Because guess what? There's a wide receiver at the University of Alabama that everybody say that he got all the skill, but the motherfucker can't catch a cold. He dropping everything. Now all of a sudden, Ryan Williams can't even run routes now. So which one is it? Is it Lamar's fault or is it everybody else's fault? Because Puka Nacua got two Hall of Fame at this point in time. Look like your boy Sean McVay might be a Hall of Fame coach the way he keep going. So we're gonna disregard that Sean McVay isn't a brilliant mind at at head coach. So we're gonna ignore the fact that Matthew Stafford hadn't put up damn good numbers in his career. We're gonna ignore the fact that, or we just gonna give Puka Nacua all of the credit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, nope. No, don't play that. No, man, they got personal with me. Oh my God! Look. He said the dude had back-to-back seasons, then went to Cam Newton podcast crying about he wasn't high on the progression. All right, whatever that means. So my thing is, see, this is where again, John just told you he only dropped 4 passes in the entire season. Okay. See, this is where you just again you allow them to run into a tree. you allow them to run. You allow them to run into a tree because it really gets funny. So remember when he said, okay, y'all see what he said. Kyle can't catch a cold. Okay. Okay, we're gonna make this make sense. Okay. We're gonna make this make sense. Y'all make this make sense, okay? Kyle Pitts has 118 targets. Okay. Remember 118 targets, right? Make that we're gonna put that on display. 118 targets. How many drops do you guys think Kyle Pitts had? And there was 118 targets. Hmm? So let's get to it. Mr. N. How many drops do you think Kyle Pitts had in 2025? Because it's funny that we say that Kyle Pitts trash and he can't catch a cold, and then you ask him how many drops did he have? I guess he stopped typing now. So 20. All right. So we got right here, and like I said, right here it says in 2025 he had 2 drops. 2024 he had 4 drops. In 2023, 4. 2022 he had 3, and then 2021 he had 6. Hmm. 118. 118 targets and only dropped, let's just say 4. But right here on this website, it says he had 2 drops all year. 2 of them. But Mr. Center just sit up here and said that Kyle Pitts can't catch a cold. Funny. Funny how these things work. When you start looking at the numbers and you start giving them facts, I want if Mr. Center, what you trying to type up right now, okay? I'm just asking. I just want to hear. I just want to hear. I want to hear now what the problem. Oh, now he trying to talk. No, he bobbled. He just bobbled. Well, again, 6. Okay, 6 of them. So y'all see what he said? He bobbled. Now he going away from. He actually dropped it, and he can cold. He couldn't catch a cold. But now he's saying now he's trying to change the. He's trying to change the subject and say, well, Kyle Pitts bobbled him. Ain't nobody asked you about no damn bobble. You can bobble all you want to, but as long as that bitch is caught. You see, you see it now. Now he's trying to change now he's trying to change this up. He bobbled 6 of them, but he caught 88 of them. Funny. Okay? Real funny how now we keep asking you these questions and now you're trying to redefine what you're just talking about. You know what's funny? The guy that you say, a lot of people that says that is the best receiver in the game, Puka Nacua. Anybody know what his numbers look like? 129 targets and 4 drops. That number 4 kind of sound familiar, y'all. I don't know why that number 4 for Puka Nacua sounds familiar to me. That number 4 is sticking out to me for some reason. I can't really quite get it. Why Puka Nacua dropping 4 passes is looking real familiar to me right now. Because it says that Puka Nacua dropped 4 passes and the guy, okay? And this guy and Kyle Pitts dropped the same amount of numbers in 4. Kyle Pitts dropped 4 and less targets, okay, than Puka Nacua. Pretty much nearly the exact same drop percentage and things of that nature. Okay? So this is why this shit is funny to me. It's because this is what we talk about. The players that they love, they have an out for them. They create a unrealistic expectations for guys that they dislike, and the guys that they love, they lower the bar for them. We got to be talked about bad before we win a championship. And trust me, we are talked about bad. Super Bowl champs in 27. DeAndre, I appreciate it. My thing is, being talked about bad is definitely give the team motivation. I believe personally, that you got to have something to fight for. You got to have some, got to have some fire. Got to be able to draw some type of emotion and strength and motivation in order to, play to a certain level. I think everybody needs motives to draw from. Doubt, anger, frustration, whatever the case may be. I think everybody needs that. But at the end of the day, you're still no good without an actual scheme and coaching. As much as you can sit up here and talk about players and having the top players, none of that shit matters if you don't have the right coaching and the right staff and the right vision. None of that shit matters. Yeah, he done lost the war. He ain't got nothing else to draw from because he said that Kyle Pitts he sucks, and he got damn near the same amount of drops than Puka Nacua, who is regarded as the best wide receiver in the game. Mm-hmm. Funny, huh? Jamar Chase got the same amount of numbers of drops that Kyle Pitts does. Jackson Smith and Jigba got 5 drops. Amon-Ra St. Brown got 10 drops. Chris Olave 5. George Pickens 4. Wan'Dale Robinson 4. Zay Flowers 7. I can just keep going on with more guys that got more drops than Kyle Pitts, yet Kyle Pitts is regarded as just mediocre. I just find it funny. Find it funny. A guy that can't catch a cold is actually catching it, and people are still saying that he's mediocre. That is incredible. So my thing is, am I sitting up here saying that Kyle Pitts is a legend? No. Am I saying that Kyle Pitts is the greatest tight end to ever lace it up? No. But the idea that Kyle Pitts is just some bum ass player because he didn't live up to you guys' expectations of what a unicorn is supposed to look like, I don't know many tight ends that can split out wide and do what he can do. I don't know many tight ends in the league that can go one-on-one against a cornerback and beat him. Don't know many tight ends that can actually do that. Yet every time he does something bad or he doesn't live up to your expectations of have 100 catches or 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, y'all say he's not a unicorn. Who the fuck cares about a unicorn? So y'all can win y'all little fantasy football goddamn bets. That's what you mad at because Kyle Pitts didn't catch a touchdown in the game. Because it sounds like that's what it sounds like to me. See, it never fails. When you start bringing in the proof, the comments start going. And so I appreciate everybody in this. I appreciate everybody in this chat because we're showing Mr. Cena that you better come in here with your motherfucking facts, right? Your stats, right? And you better come in here telling the truth or your ass is going to get exposed. See, this is why they don't like Mad Mike and K Styles and Warren and you and Dunn, Sam, Truth. They don't like us because we don't do feelings. We don't do unrealistic expectations. I don't give a fuck about Kyle Pitts being one of the greatest tight ends physically or whatever fuck. I don't give a fuck about him being I don't give a flying fuck about him being the greatest unicorn or whatever the fuck y'all want to play along. I don't give a fuck about him being Peter Pan. I don't give a fuck about Kyle Pitts being up here being goddamn a Julio Jones reincarnation. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I care about Kyle Pitts doing his job and doing his job well. And you cannot convince anybody with a fucking brain that 88 catches is mediocre, that 928 yards is mediocre, that 5 touchdowns is just mediocre. Because guess what? I guarantee you, if we didn't have a Drake or we didn't have a Bijan Robinson, you would be looking at Kyle Pitts with 120 receptions and over 1,000 yards at tight end. But y'all disregard the fact that he's doing this because he didn't live up to your fairy tale of him being a Julio Jones reincarnated. Y'all wanted a Julio Jones with that number 4 overall pick, and you didn't get it because you had unrealistic expectations of what Kyle Pitts is. He was always a tight end. He was always a tight end. He was always a guy that didn't get out of his breaks well. Okay? He was always that guy. But y'all created this unrealistic expectations of what Kyle Pitts is. He's not a unicorn. Y'all put that label on him. I have never heard Kyle Pitts say one time that I'm the greatest route runner. I'm a unicorn. Y'all put that number. The media put that. Y'all fans put them on. Y'all put that on him. The Tony Gonzalez put that on him. All of y'all put that on Kyle Pitts instead of looking at him for what he is and what this team has done and hasn't done. Y'all did this. Because he's not living up to y'all expectations. Now y'all want to say, you know what? Screw Kyle Pitts. How many times did we point out after games how many how the play caller were causing a receiver's problems. Play caller would call them the receivers problems because they weren't diagramming plays too close to each other. Oh my God, John, I'm so glad. No, I got what you're saying. I know exactly what you were saying. But these are the problems that we're talking about. Coaching matters. One of the things I like about what Sean McVay does, he mix up his formations. You very seldom get the 3, 4, 5, 10 plays in the same formation. He's going to mix those formations up. I love that because now you don't give the defense time to figure out, all right, what are they doing in this? They can run the same play, a dig route with Puka Nacua, but they do it in like 3-4 different formations. They will run the same routes with Puka Nacua, but because they're doing it in different formations, the defense can't adjust to it. And that right there is the beauty of play calling. It's not, oh man, we're gonna run a stretch play to Bijan Robinson. It's knowing how to run the stretch play with Bijan Robinson from different formations. It's learning how to get Julio Jones on that crossing route across the middle in different formations in different situations. That's the beauty of play calling. And that's what a guy like Clint Kubiak understood. This is what a guy like from Seattle, Clint Kubiak, Seattle, Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. These are the things that they know. These are the things they understand. Oh, we know. Oh, I know. Like I said, y'all the MVPs in this chat because y'all call out the dumb shit. Y'all call out the dumb shit. And y'all look, it come down to if you don't know your shit, don't come over here. Cause you ain't got to worry about Mike too much. Cause y'all people in here, y'all know y'all ball, and that's why we appreciate y'all because y'all know y'all ball. See, he got screwed up when he made that. He screwed up when he made that reference with Julio Jones. That's when he fucked up. He said Julio Jones wouldn't be Julio Jones in Cleveland, but he'll still have the same skills. Then turned around and said that about Kyle. Like, you did it to yourself, partner. You did it to yourself, partner. And that right there is the bottom line because, man, Mike said so. Like I said, y'all stay tuned for more of our takes throughout the day. And like I said, I'm going to keep them up. Y'all just keep those comments coming. And like I said before, man, I appreciate it. But these are the types of things that drives me insane because people love to make excuses and lower the bar. They lower the bar for the people that they love. And then people that the media put this crazy label on. And this is why a lot of these quarterbacks like Sam Darnold is coming. Now they're finally starting to live up to being a pretty good quarterback because they, from the very beginning, y'all put the unrealistic expectations on these guys. And now they got to live up to a legend status when they were probably never legends to begin with. Y'all put that on Sam Darnold. Y'all putting that on J.J. McCarthy. Y'all putting that on Michael Penix that he's supposed to be the greatest quarterback and because he had the greatest talent and he did this and he did. Y'all put these unrealistic expectations on players, and then when they don't live up to it, teams gotta cut them, go to another team, sit for a year or two, and actually learn how to be a quarterback. And you wonder why guys like Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, why they finally starting to actually look like something. It's because now they don't have to worry about these damn unrealistic expectations. You wonder why guys like Puka Nacua who's drafted in the 5th round because they don't have these unrealistic expectations that they put on them. You wonder why Grady Jarrett, who the guy's a 5th round pick, he ended up being something because y'all didn't put these unrealistic expectations on it. You guys ruin a lot of these guys' stars. I'm talking about fans and the media. Y'all ruin these guys' career by putting these unrealistic expectations on them. And guess what happened? They can't live up to it. The pressure. Because you never taught him the game to begin with. Puka Nacua is successful right now in the NFL because he was taught how to play the game. He was able to sit and learn. He didn't have the Julio Jones and the cavalry expectations in year one. He can actually sit down and listen to the coach and learn how to run proper routes and really just learn the team. So again, hit that subscribe button for your boy Mad Mike. Continue to support him. 6-Man K-Style, congratulations to you for getting 1,700. Got to get him to 2. Sam is almost at 500, so you guys head over to Mr. White Sports Network. Show him some love. And that right there is the bottom line because Mad Mike said so. Peace.
Put your eyes back in your head.
I got like flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.